Okay. First of all, I got the new whiteboard, which is exciting. So today's topic is the LLM is almost like a fast food of knowledge, and since the quick story, since I come to come to realize ChatGPT exists, which is just a few months after it released, and which is a few years ago, I almost stopped reading because in terms of books, or I think I think it's not necessary, and as I go into a completely new field, which I'll get into it later, a completely new topic that I've never experienced with, then LLM start failing, and I think I need to show y'all like this my new views on large language models, namely something like ChatGPT and stuff. So obviously, if you know the basic, the fundamental of the LLM, what it does is just guessing the next word, which is autoregressive model. So just given the previous context, was the most likely next word gonna be. So it will have system. It will have most of the commercial LLMs. It will have a system prompts already built in, like some type of guardrail. So you will feel like sometimes you just cannot pry some information out of them. You're not hallucinating because hallucinating because the LLM itself has system prompts that preventing it to give you that. Sometimes you can trick it to give you more information, but it's getting more and more difficult. And the sampling bias obviously the large language model is trained on sometimes based on a curated data set, and the data set itself have sampling bias. If since it's not hard science to a degree in terms of it's not like you try to parameterize a physical phenomenon. You try to parameterize how to respond to a human question in human language. So the objective is not as black and white. So what I mean, the sampling bias, human bias will create a sampling bias, like in contrast of a physical science. And then I will list out all the potential shortcomings. And then I will talk about what is good for, what is bad for, and then take home message at the very end. I think LLM, based on my understanding, based on my experience, it has a much more narrow views. So it does not, like when you ask something, it will like go on very, very specific topics. Say I want to grow fruit trees, and they would go like how to buy fruit trees, how to water it, and how to maintain it. But I would never go through the tangent of hey, what's your soil pH, what is your soil drainage, and then what is your zone, and what is your relative location, what is the surrounding shade, and so on and so forth. Like human will ask those questions because those are related to your ultimate goal, but like LLM will give you very narrow specific answer without get everything surrounding it, and then that's dangerous to a degree for the people who are not familiar with the topic. And also LLM seems to be polite because I think again the system prompt, the guardrail will give it that, and also potentially the sampling the LLM is rewarded to respond politely, and also the information was fed is like to a degree a polite response. And then you can prompt it to be blunt, and you can ask for statistic or ask for the source to like avoid to know like the actual number behind the statement, so that no matter if the statement is polite or what, it will still give you relatively grounded information. And also another thing is LLM seems to be very agreeable. Like it's a joke, running joke. It's like, oh, I agree. I agree with you. Like I shouldn't delete the entire server. Yeah, but too late. This is very dangerous because, like, for say somebody who is a cancer patient and they thought, oh, I have this. Like, am I like I'm in trouble, like, and then like LLM say, oh, you're in trouble, like you're in big trouble. Like this is very dangerous, and for people who cannot discern the right or wrong with enough background understanding of certain topic, and you just blindly trust what LLM says and without giving it the context it needs. Like if you give enough context of the like a comprehensive context of a situation, it will give you a really good response. But at the same time, most people who are not familiar with a given topic, it will just agree with you and then following through into the rabbit hole without knowing the full surrounding context. Like for instance, that's a story I want to bring up because we just recently got a house, and then the house needs some fixing, and I was saying, oh, this part of the floor is a little bit squeaky, and then like before I know it, they said, oh, you should look at the structural issue, and maybe you need to check for structural engineers. Like, but at the end of the day, like we talk to some people, like some people who know what they're, who know the topics. Oh, this is just you just need to pad it with a thicker padding, stuff like that. But it keep agreeing with me, and potentially I'm trained by physics, so I know the physical background, but I do not know like exactly the building code and stuff. So like the question I ask is wrong, and then it will keep agree with me, and then feedback on what I believed, and then give a very severe, like make things sound way more severe than it actually is, and that's very dangerous, especially for like say people who are seeking like help in healthcare and or something that is critical. It's very dangerous, and I think that's why I started to read book again, because I need to know. I will get to that later. And then LLM is too cagey. Sometimes because the system prompt given the guardrails, you cannot ask for like sometimes too detailed question on something that just for pure curiosity. It will just say, oh, this is beyond my ability, or this is like say I say, oh, maybe a time series, like was a good time series prediction method for stock, and then what might be a good method, and then it will say, oh, this is I'm not a financial advisor, like, and stuff. Unless you give a prompt, like jailbreak it with some additional system prompt, it will not give you the answer. Sometimes you just have to ask for comprehensive or different ask to give a different perspective, which is important. LLM, again, is just guessing next word. Unless it uses tools, it does not know how to do math. And even as of now, June 2026, it still cannot do math perfectly. It still makes a lot of stupid logical mistake. Even simple addition or multiplication occasionally will make mistake. And to me sometimes for to me that's just like that's like very trivial. It will make a lot of trivial mistakes, like simple additions and stuff. So always ask for step-by-step calculations, or even just ask for a Python script or some computational script so that you can run it yourself and check the script, because it still make a lot of mathematical mistakes and logical mistakes as well. So what is LLM good for? I mean, it is good for a lot of things, obviously. It's good at deep research for topic you know, but not good for deep research that you know nothing about. As we're talking about, if you don't know anything about the given topic, it doesn't give you a broad understanding of things. It will get you directly into a narrow topic, where sometimes you will lose sight on the potential surrounding issues that might solve the problem better, or like sometimes the narrow view will create new problems. And it's really good at summarizing simple text, but it cannot summarize all the critical information that you want, because unless you ask for it, it will not go for like the things you actually care about. So sometimes it will miss the things that is actually important to you. And for me, coding, it will be great at creating code that like almost like simple code that run out off the bat. But if you have a complex code that have a lot of interdependencies, and then some, maybe like some really new libraries that update very frequently, debugging is a nightmare as of now in the current stage. And the joke is, oh, you're absolutely right, let me restore the database I just recently deleted by accident. It still made those catastrophic mistakes. So you need to double check, and also you need debug. You have to a degree understand the architecture of your code. Namely, you can let the LLM to create a small pieces of the code, but architectural orchestration wise, it's still like you can start building small, but don't ask it to build completely new full end-to-end code just like one run. That will create a nightmare to debug, because I've been there. It's really good at understanding extremely long text, and it can answer the question you have related to the long text, but it cannot understand very long data, like very if you give you a huge like table for people who are like numerically sensitive, you can spot the problem just right off the bat. See, this row has a problem, it's not trend the right way, just by looking at the chart. But for LLM currently, I don't see it's capable of doing that with a long chart, because first it will have a haystack problem, like needle in haystack, in the sense it will forget what they look at a few sentences ago in terms of numeric, because LLM is still, I think, trained primarily for language to language, not numeric. So that's a problem. And of course, comment below, tell me what you think it is good for and what is bad for, and then how do you like overcome it, and how do you practice it with a given task using LLM. And so my take-home message after using it for 5 years almost, 5 years, LLM, is that if you're completely new to the topic, completely new, like you don't even know where to start, do not use LLM to get started with it, because you will dive into the detail of one specific topic, and also you will lose sight of the entire overarching structure of the concept, how house work, and how the building code works, and how the plumbing and electrical and carpentry and architectural and landscaping work, like things like that. Like you wouldn't know those unless you say at least read an introductory book of it to know like where to look and what to be careful for, because you almost like LLM will just give you a headlamp you need a introductory book to shine like almost like daylight, shine the light on everywhere so that you know where to look for. And also ask for the source, the math, and when you're doing research, because it will hallucinate. It will give you ungrounded information, think it's like believe it is right, and then it will even make up statistic, which is astonishing to me. I don't know why it can do that. That's crazy. And sometimes make up statistic itself. Ask for source, ask for the math, because it's still pretty bad at math and the numeric understanding as of now. The vibe coding is good, but you need a really good version control, because sometimes it will recode the entire code base for you, and that's disastrous if you don't push it. You don't save it somewhere. So you have to roll back and then do it again, starting fresh. Because if you let the LLM roll back, it will roll back the wrong way sometimes, and it's really painful to roll back with LLM to go back without version control. And LLM still misunderstand statistics and math, so check the math. I cannot emphasize it enough, because it's still really bad at math. Maybe because I have a relatively higher bar on mathematical correctness, but it's still really bad right now in 2026. And also logic inference is still not really good. It can probably do 2-3 steps, but they do like more than that, it just fails. But yeah, so let me know what you think and what I missed. And I think it is important for us to read book again, and then to understand the shortcoming of LLM. It's not like it can understand the entire like knowledge base completely without fail. It's specifically, details, the math, and then a complex topic. And also, if you want to understand something in broad aspect, a book is a better method than LLM. So yeah, nowadays a lot of people use LLM as a cure-it-all, which it can do a lot of things, but it still has a lot of shortcomings that one need to be wary of.